How's it going, everybody? Sean Ross here, and here's my review on Tokyo Ghoul chapter 148 entitled, Where is the Stone? This week's chapter of Tokyo Ghoul I found to be very enjoyable, and it gave us a lot of information that we really needed on the background of Hide/Scarecrow. And another thing that I really enjoyed about this week's chapter is that we actually got half of the reveal of Hide's face. Even though he's still covered from the nose down, we still don't get to see how disfigured he is, with his jawline, with his mouth, why he can't speak. We still don't know that for certain, but now he has a device in this chapter to where he can finally speak to all of the people around him. So for anybody that was still, speculating and didn't actually believe that Scarecrow was Hide, this basically now 100% confirms that Hide was Scarecrow. But besides that section of this chapter, I really enjoyed getting to see all the familiar faces pop up yet again into the story of Tokyo Ghoul. Having Akira and Almond pop up in a little section of this chapter, we get to see Dr. Ogura again, even Itori and Uta pop up near the end of this chapter, and I loved getting to see Itori at the ending of this chapter. Whatever she was dressed in, that dress, that skimpy thing that she was wearing, I found it to be very, very enjoyable. She looked absolutely beautiful during the ending parts of this chapter. But one thing I'm noticing right now, as these last couple chapters have been coming out, ever since we've kind of transitioned away from Dragon and just like the Monster of the Week chapter with, Dragon just engulfing Tokyo, we're starting now to shift away from Kaneki towards Hide. It feels like Hide right now is starting to become the main character of this arc because he's the character that has the plan, he's getting all of the characters together, and it's only a matter of time before Hide actually shows up in front of the GOAT organization and starts talking with Toka, Nishiki, Tsukiyama, that entire group, and finally puts his plan into motion, which I'm really looking forward to that. But this chapter in particular gives us a little bit more backstory on Hide's character. So there's a lot to dive into, there's a lot to discuss. So let's go back to the very beginning of this week's chapter and start off with Juzo, which actually was a very short section of this week's chapter. Basically, this section is just to let us know that Suzuya did in fact survive, once Dragon erupted from the underground, but it really goes to show the character development of Juzo once again, because as it kind of flash forwards and flashbacks in that section where we see him in the underground, and then after coming out of the underground, he's got bandages on his face, he's looking at his entire S3 squad and basically looking at them, it's like, I apologize to you guys. I should have finished the job when I had the chance, and he kind of reminisces, we see a smiling face of Heise, and he looks at his squad and basically tells them, I'm not going to fail you guys once again, and I promise I will make this all up to you. And you would not see that from Juzo back in part 1, so I love getting to see that type of character development coming from Juzo, and it really reminds us, just sprinkling in here and there, that this is a different character than Juzo acted and how he was in part 1 of Tokyo Ghoul. And that is kind of like the main thing of the first section of this chapter. We do also get, another good glimpse at the Dragon Kagane, where we kind of have the bodies or the mannequin type forms, sprouting out among it. But that is really all there is to cover in the first section with Juzo down in the underground and talking with his S3 squad. So we cut away from that section, and the next section we move into is Hide and Marude talking and discussing with Dr. Ogura. Now, this section gives us a lot of new and key information both on Kano and Hide as a character and how he's actually moving forward in this chapter being able to speak, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But the first key point of information that we come to learn is that Dr. Ogura is not the specialist that Hide and Marude were looking for. They are in fact looking for Dr. Kano, which I'm really glad about because this still has the possibility of bringing Kimi back into the story. But the reason this all makes sense is because Kano is the only character that has ties in creating not only Kaneki, but the Ogai as well, and was probably well aware of the fact that Furuta wanted the Ogai to transform Kaneki into Dragon. So that right there, it's nice to know that he is actually going to be the maggot specialist that Hide and Marude are looking for. But dealing with, not only that, we come to learn a lot about Kano as a character and what's probably motivating him moving forward. And the whole reason he's probably looking into ghoulification research has to do with his mother, because as we come to learn, as a boy, he was very happy and used to tell jokes and make people laugh. But once his mother fell ill, and while he was entering college, his mother ended up falling ill and ended up dying. And this is what pushed him most likely to pursue ghoulification research. And as we come to learn later on in this section, he's most likely looking into ghoulification research and medicine, most likely to bring back his dead mother, which goes into the chapter title, Where is the Stone? It's his mother's gravestone. So that right there makes me very curious, is like, is this the driving force of Kano's character throughout all of Tokyo Ghoul? Is the only reason he's actually doing ghoulifications and looking further and deeper into this research is for the simple fact that he most likely wants to bring back his mother that he loved and cared for so dearly. So this little section on Dr. Kano gives us a lot of new information and actually allows us to speculate and actually theorize a little bit more and actually think about is what motivates his character throughout the entire story of Tokyo Ghoul. But now I actually want to move on to Hide, because Hide in this chapter and just in this section alone, you can feel his personality slowly returning to the series of Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul-ri in general. The fact that Dr. Chigyo ended up developing like a speaking apparatus for Hide to actually talk, and the fact that the first thing he ends up saying is today is a sunny day, when we see later on in the chapter it's raining the entire time, that just goes to show the positivity that Hide has, and I'm just so happy to see his character returning and him being able to speak once again in Tokyo Ghoul-ri. So that I am very happy about. So we kind of move on from there. You know, we come to learn that Hide and Marude are, you know, looking for Dr. Kano. But the next section we finally move into, which I was really happy to see, was the reappearance once again of Akira and Almon. But this section ended up giving more information on Hide as a character, because Almon ends up asking him, it's like, you know, why are you coming after us? And Hide's like, well, the Washu were after me. I couldn't, you know, just do what I could willy-nilly. So that right there, that little piece of information lets us know that the Washu were actually looking at Hide and keeping him under surveillance. They saw Hide as a threat. So is it the fact that Hide actually knew, you know, that the Washu were ghouls and he was going to, you know, expose them to the world? And is that the whole reason why that's kind of like Scarecrow slash Hide was in the background, you know, kind of moving the pieces slowly throughout the entire series? This raises a lot of questions. We don't really have a definitive answer as to why the Washu were actually keeping tabs on Hide, but that is anyone's best guess, and most likely is the fact that he found out that the Washu were in fact ghouls. So now that Hide is able to move around freely and no longer has the watchful eye of the Washu looming over his every move, he's now able to recruit Akira and Almon to his cause to rescue and save Kaneki. And I love this, and I think it comes as no surprise too that throughout the entire series, as Hide, you know, in the persona of Scarecrow, from the auction raid to the Rue Island up until now, has been doing everything in his power to save his best friend, Kaneki. And even Almon and Akira are well aware of this. They know he's trying to save Kaneki, but Almon still has to ask the question, why are you willing to go this far for Kaneki? And Hide replies, why? Because I love him. Now, I know that piece of dialogue right there is going to get the fandom in a tizzy, and it's going to make the shippers, you know, go and run wild. This, we don't know if that's a proper translation, but we already know that Hide loves Kaneki, but as a best friend. And also, guys, you gotta remember, Kaneki is married to Toka, so there's nothing going to happen right now between Hide and Kaneki. But throughout the entire series, we know that Hide admires and just loves the friendship he has with Kaneki. The bond between Hide and Kaneki is very strong. And I even love the bottom panel on that same page where it's kind of like a little jokey Hide having his personality come through once again, where he says, do I need another reason? These guys have been together through thick and thin, and even if you guys have read the light novels, you know to what lengths Hide will go to for his best friend, Kaneki. So I love this little section, the fact that he's able to recruit Akira and Almon to his cause, which is very happy for me because I get to see them back in the story once again. And right now, Hide is moving forward with his plan to hopefully save his best friend, Kaneki. So that is the last that we get to see of Hide in this chapter, but the next section we move into is the Provision Squad, where we get to see Toka, Nishiki, Tsukiyama, and Banjo, and 3 more familiar faces end up popping up on the scene. We see a very tired Yomo being carried by Itori along with Uta. I love getting to see Uta again. You know, he's holding that mask that he was wearing where we're like, a few chapters back, we're like, is that Uta? I think that's Uta, so it's nice to see Uta again, but I am very, Very happy to see Itori appear yet again in the story, and my god, she looks absolutely beautiful in this last section of the chapter. That dress she is wearing, that one pose she has, I'm like, Itori, welcome back into the story. But she ends up asking some very interesting questions to the GOAT organization, basically asking them, it's like, now that your king has turned into this monster, what are you all going to do? And this moment, she starts planting the seeds of despair, of revenge, of basically like, this was no accident. Your king did this to basically kill and eradicate all of humankind. And throughout this entire section, you can see Tsukiyama, Nishiki, and Toka looking at Itori like, what are you saying right now? They're looking at her, it's like, you are basically spouting off nonsense, but she's like, am I? Like, look at what's happening right now. Your king has basically killed all the people that had basically taken away your brothers, your sisters, your loved ones. He did this all for you. And you could see all of the nameless ghouls with the part of the GOAT organization just basically chanting, basically like, yes, he did this for us. I am so glad that I followed our king. Like, he did this all for us. Like, the doves killed my brothers. I'm happy Ken Kaneki turned into that monstrosity and is right now killing all of humankind. You see others basically shouting off like, humans drove me out of my home. I am glad I am a follower of the One-Eyed King, and he did this to the human race. And while all this is happening, you just get these shots of Toka, who is hearing all of this negativity about Kaneki around her, how they are praising the fact that he is actually going around and killing all the humans within the streets of Tokyo. And you can see on her face the anger and sadness bubbling up inside her. And there's this last panel on that page where you think she's about to break. She's about to snap and just yell at everybody. But when you go to the last page, it's not Toka who is flipping out. It is Shu Tsukiyama. He is screaming at the top of his lungs, telling everybody to shut up and stop like spouting this blasphemy about the One-Eyed King, about Kaneki, who Shu, very beginning of the series, just viewed Kaneki as food, but through character development and his love for his best friend and king, Ken Kaneki, is now standing up for his king. He deserved being the right hand of Kaneki. I love this moment, just the way that it's drawn, the facial expression, and just seeing the shocked faces of Toka and Nishiki as they're looking on at Tsukiyama. And then you see our little mouse, Chihori, she actually captured the moment with her camera, and then that is the end of the chapter. This right here was a great cliffhanger for this chapter. I'm really excited just to hear the speech and monologue coming from Shu as he basically tells everyone a part of the GOAT organization, how dare you say these things about Ken Kaneki, our One-Eyed King. I am so looking forward to that. So there are many things to look forward to in the next chapter in 149. I'm hoping that we do get a monologue of just Shu riffing in front of all of the GOAT organization. But what I am most excited to see is, what is Hide's plan? What is he going to do moving forward once he finds Kano? How is he going to save Kaneki? And if Kano is in fact doing this all for his deceased mother, are you guys satisfied, you know, with that being his resolve? The reason he is driven throughout this entire series is just to bring back his dead mother. Or am I reading that wrong? Or is he actually doing something entirely? It could be anyone's guess right now, but I am looking forward to chapter 149. But I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Give me all your theories, your speculations, and I just really look forward to talking with you guys down in the comments. And now we have to wait one more week yet again for the newest chapter of Tokyo Ghoul. That is my review, guys. Until next week when we have chapter 149 of Tokyo Ghoul. I'll talk with you guys then. See you later, guys.